is there a very big, like in Ethiopia,
Yes.
is there a very big sense of how other people perceive you and how you look, like in front of like your family and like friends and just people that you know? Is there a very big, is it
Awareness of that?
awareness of that? Yeah.
Now, are you describing that in a similar sense as it is here in Canada as well, where people are very concerned about their image, their reputation, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, especially for immigrants who are coming here.
Yeah.
Immigrants who are coming here, they have to work hard. They have some high
Well,
aspirations.
you have to prove.
Exactly.
You have to prove yourself that
Yep.
you know what you well, not that you belong here, but that you know that you're going to contribute to society in
Yep.
a certain way, and that. But there's also the pressure when you're an immigrant and you have children.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
you moved and you made the sacrifice to
Yep.
move to give your children a better life.
Absolutely. There's
Right?
huge sacrifice there,
And
right?
There's a lot of
Absolutely.
pressure. Well, not just on them, but on them to say, you know what, hey, I made a good decision of moving here,
Mhm.
and that proof, the proof is in the pudding when they see their children after when they go into their careers and make something of themselves, right? And that's
Because
where it comes from.
a
I think.
significant thing they value is success
Yeah.
economically, and what success looks like is when you're able to afford the things that they never could afford because of
Exactly,
the
yeah.
places that they came from.
Yeah.
So that's what they prioritize really high.
Yeah.
And I think the challenge that they come to, especially as far as progeny is concerned, because I mean parents have high expectations of their kids. They can live vicariously through the kids to live that
Yeah.
life that they couldn't access. Is when the kids come into this culture, and what isn't valued here as much is that economic prosperity, that like instead what it seems to be more prioritized here, of course everyone wants to be rich, but what seems to be more prioritized is do something that you love, that you feel strongly and passionately
Yeah.
about, regardless of what economic forecast it has there.
Yeah.
It's much better to live modestly and do what you really feel strongly about, instead of living miserably and have a
Yeah.
very healthy bank account or
Exactly,
resources.
yeah.
That's where the challenge, I think, comes in, because as the kids are coming in, they're saying, okay, now where do I find my bearing in this new climate?
Yeah.
From the home front to externally from the home front.
Yeah.
And that's a significant challenge for them now, I would say.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Excuse me.
that's
I
okay.
smoke. I don't. It's not.
I'm not concerned, my
Okay.
friend. I'm not concerned. But furthermore,
Yeah.
I'd even go further to say the challenge is quite real in that not only for Ethiopians, but also for most immigrant families,
Yeah.
when they're coming in, they're looking for that sense of, here's what this could look like.
And
Right?
belonging, right? A
Right.
sense of your family's like. Does it become like a point of pride,
Yeah,
or does it become a point of
yeah, exactly.
goes the other way?
Exactly, yeah, totally. I totally hear you on that one. Did you experience that also from your cultural background and from your French heritage?
My parents, well, they just my parents are very, very old fashioned. My
Okay.
dad's 70. I'm 25.
Wow, so they had you like a late season of life.
Yeah, no, my dad was 45 when he had me.
Wow.
So my dad was my mom's like was a lot younger.
Yes.
Like, my parents have a 17-year age
17,
difference.
that's significant, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like my mom met my dad when she was 25. And
Okay.
So like, but my parents are very old fashioned, and
Yeah.
they drilled into me that work is what will get you ahead in life, and if
Yeah.
you're lazy, then you're pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
Like I also work construction. I work as a cook and I work construction.
Okay.
And I've worked in construction with my father since the age of 7. Like at the age of 7, I was just watching him grooming, like doing small things, getting
Yeah.
him nails when he needed it, but like
Yeah.
or carrying a couple boxes.
Learning on the job.
Yeah. Oh, funny enough, when I was 7, I wanted to show off to my dad. So there was this my dad told me to get a couple boxes from the truck.
Yeah.
And he started talking. So he also speaks Spanish because he was born right on the Spanish border, and there was this guy from Spain.
Yeah.
So he was busy talking to him, and I
Yeah.
wanted to impress my dad.
Yeah.
So I took like this compressor. Now, I don't know if you know about compressors in those days. They were pretty heavy duty. Like we're talking a 40 pound, at least 40 pounds.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Now for 40 pounds for a 7-year-old is quite a bit of weight,
Significant,
right?
absolutely.
I ended up just dragging it on the grass.
But you wanted to make an impression,
But I
though.
wanted to make an
Absolutely,
impression.
yeah.
My dad, he comes into the room where I brought all this stuff.
Yeah.
He looks at the compressor, he looks at me, he looks at the van, and then he says, "Hey guys, did you bring in the compressor?" And they're like, "No, we didn't bring the compressor." He looks back at me, he's like, "Did you bring the compressor?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And he was like the proudest father at that
That
point.
is awesome.
But yeah, no, like
That's
it was
awesome.
instilled in me from a very young age that
Yeah.
laziness is not an option.
Sure.
And if you want to get far in life, you got to work hard for what you want to have, right?
And you still remember that experience and that story because it was that impacting.
Yeah, no, because I really wanted to impress him, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, what son doesn't want to impress his dad?
Yeah, no,
Sort of
exactly, right? So.
But that's really neat how it stayed with you this long. It seems like a simple thing, but it was actually a huge thing in your development personally.
Yeah. Well, my dad, he was very old-fashioned, so on the emotional front, not very emotional. Like, he grew up in, like, he was born 3 years after World War II.
Sure.
And at that time, children only spoke when spoken to.
Yeah.
And they ate, like, they ate separate from the adults. They had a table, they ate after the adults. I'm not sure which, after or before or whatever, but they ate separate from the adults.
Sure, yeah.
And you didn't really have
I can relate to that culture.
Yeah. And, it's like here, how kids think that they have a say?
Yeah.
You don't really have a say.
I know. I come from that background too, yeah.
So, but again, like, my parents weren't that hardcore with us because, again, times changed, but it still had that connotation of, you're the kid.
Yeah.
We are in control. We tell you what to do, and if you don't, then, you get it, right?
You're on their agenda. You're
exactly.
on yours. Yeah, for sure.
You might think that you have a say, but the other day you don't really have much of a say.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, like, for him to be that proud and, like, that, people, like, having that smile on his face, to me, that was big.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because he was never really big on emotion.
Right.
So...
Now, I know what that's like, especially those from a different generation that way. And one of the things, I mean, I struggled with that when I was growing up too, is just saying, why don't you just crack it? Like, be human. Let's have access to that, right? Now I'm much more in the zone of, I guess, understanding different dynamics. That way, I'm more so inclined to say, how can I make allowances, I guess, in that different generational structure that they had to operate in and make things work, right? And it's, of course, like, we know how difficult it is now for adults to change or flip, right?
Yeah.
And yet, as a kid who's idealistic, I'm like, it shouldn't be that hard, kind of thing. And now it's like more like, yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. So, did you grow up in Calgary then?
I grew up in Calgary, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We were a bit in Montreal, but that did not work at all.
Just economically?
Economically, yeah. Like, first of all, and that's another thing. Like, the great thing about Canada.
Yeah.
Now, as a white person, I can't really say very much.
Yeah.
But the great thing about Canada is that they don't give a shit what color you are.
Sure.
They care more about accents.
I see.
But
interesting.
I find that people are more bothered by accents more than anything.
Okay.
But really, on the big scheme of things, if you work hard and you're a serious person and you do your shit, like, they don't give a fuck where you're from, right?
Sure, yeah.
But, like, for example, in Quebec, it's a very, like, Quebecers don't like French people.
Okay.
What I mean by French people, I mean people from France.
Yes,
Quebecers,
I've heard that.
But they don't like people from France simply because, well, it's also the French people's fault because both Quebecers and French people are snobby.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And you have two people that think that they are very highly of themselves. And I think you can see how people can clash.
Yeah.
So there's kind of that connotation, but also the fact that when it was reported back to the king that Canada was just a barren land that had nothing, the king replied, "Oh, that's good enough for the English," and they completely forgot about the French settlers that were in Quebec, and the English weren't very nice to the Quebecers at the time, right?
I see.
So that's why they say, on their
license plate?
On their license, I was going to say postal code again.
It's okay.
They say "Je me souviens," which means we remember. That's what they're referring to.
So they're remembering their
They're remembering how shitty the English were, but the other part that they're not mentioning is how the French completely forgot about them, right? So there's kind of that, so there's that, but like, so when we came, they asked, because you have to work construction, when you work construction over there, you have to have a card.
Okay.
It's not like, because everything's unionized, everything's more, everything's way more to the left over there, right?
Okay.
And the unions are controlled by the Italians, the Italian mafia, like all that stuff. Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of trials on that. Like, if you want to look into it, it's actually pretty underhanded, right?
Okay.
Like, there's also like Hell's Angels. Like, when they first came, they went to Montreal. And there's a lot of mafia activity in Montreal, right? It's a big city.
Okay.
It's on the boat. It's right on the,
How fascinating. Okay.
And, so he showed them over 30 years of working in France, of like pictures, of like estimates, of like actual work done, of like client like letters,
his
all the
resume.
tools that he brought over from France,
Sure.
which by the way he had to rebuy here because in Europe it's 220,
Okay.
Volts.
And here it's
it's
different.
110, so he had to like change everything.
I see.
So that didn't really matter, but like he brought all the tools, right? So like,
Yeah.
you know, someone would read it and would know the trade.
Yeah.
They would know that the guy knows what the fuck he's doing, right?
Sure enough. Yeah.
But they came back to him that nothing proves to them that he is a professional in the province of Quebec, apprentice first year.
Yeah.
So he wasn't allowed to get his card.
Wow.
And where's I going with this? Oh yeah, so he goes to them and he says, "Hey, why did I get declined?" And he's like, "Well, first of all, you didn't pass your French test."
That's
And
the first thing.
my dad in all French fashion was like, "What the heck are you talking about? Are we speaking Chinese right now?" Or but their reply was, "Well, no, but you're an immigrant."
I see.
Because you have a bill 301 or 401 when Trudeau, the father came, he made like he put in place like, you know, protection of the French language inside of
see.
the Quebec the province of Quebec. So
Sure.
basically that means is that construction sites,
Yeah.
the official language is French, it's not English.
I see.
Right.
I see.
So that's one of the things, that's why they have that requirement.
Okay.
So that, and he was like, so he was working a little bit under the table.
Yeah.
The problem is that, like, you know, as an immigrant,
Yeah.
you get caught going under the table, you
Comes down
get
hard.
sent back, right? Like, you don't really
Yeah.
get a second chance. They're like, okay, you got caught, like,
Yeah.
bye-bye, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, you know, worthless to like go there and then get sent back, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Exactly the thing that my dad was like leaving because he was tired of working under the table because
Sure.
the French government like